Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Kelvis from Liberty Family Medicine here to talk to you about sleep hygiene. So, there is a whole new subspecialty of psychiatry that's blooming just in sleep medicine. And what the literature and research is showing is sleep debt is a very real thing. So, if you go 10, 20 years not getting enough sleep, you have to repay that sleep back. And so I wanted to go over maybe like 6 or 7 things that you could easily change that would significantly improve your sleep. So, number 1, quit caffeine completely. I know that makes that makes a lot of people wanna check out and just, like, stop watching this video immediately, but caffeine is actually the number 1 consumed drug in the world, and it tends to have a half-life sometimes of, like, 16 hours in your body. So, you may be tired around lunchtime, you have a cup of coffee, that's still in your system when you're trying to go to bed at 8, 9, 10 o'clock, and it changes how your brain goes in and out of certain sleep stages. There's decaf coffee, decaf tea, decaf soda. You'll struggle the first 2 weeks. You may have some headaches, some withdrawal headaches, so I wouldn't recommend, quitting coffee cold turkey immediately. Um, so number 2, do not eat within 2 hours of going to bed. Food is energy, right? So if you're consuming sugar and energy right before you go to bed, it's gonna keep you awake. I know a lot of people say how much they like eating and then laying down. That's actually not great for acid reflux and a lot of other, I don't wanna say diseases, but other pathologies. Um, and also, when you eat really late and go straight to sleep, it gets converted into storage and fat in your body. So don't eat within 2 hours. Avoid screens 1 to 2 hours before you go to bed. I know everybody likes to scan through their phone before they go to sleep. I know people like to fall asleep to the TV, but here's the catch. The bright light from the screen hits your retina, okay? That travels through the optic nerve into your brain. Your brain translates that as sunlight. It prevents your pineal gland from secreting your natural melatonin, which is what allows you to get sleepy and eventually fall asleep. So when you're looking at a screen, you're telling yourself, "Oh, it's daylight. Stay awake. Stay awake." You've got to put the screens down 1 or 2 hours before you go to bed. Read a book, meditate, whatever. Have a winding down routine 1 hour before you go to bed. Americans are workaholics. Don't work right up until you go to sleep. People say, "Oh, my mind's racing, I can't calm down." Yeah, well, because you've been working up until 9:30. Have, like, 1 hour of sacred time, and again, whatever you need to do to meditate, whether it's a puzzle or a book, whatever. Um, so also create a quiet, dark, cool atmosphere. Get blackout curtains, use eye covers. If your partner snores or your dog like farts while he sleeps, get earplugs. Our bodies naturally sleep better in cooler temperatures. Um, and it's not always the best to sleep, with people or dogs if they're always waking you up. With sleep, it is so important that you go through all the stages. And if you're constantly being woken up or even just stimulated a little bit, say your dog kicks you, it wakes you up a bit and it alters how long you may be in that REM cycle. So it's okay to say like I have to sleep alone. I think it's harder for women to come out and say that because they want to be good to everybody in the family. Also, so an obvious one, alcohol destroys your sleep. So if you go to bed drunk or you've still got alcohol in your system, um, alcohol speeds up stages like 1 through 3, and you just jump right into REM. So sometimes patients tell me when they've had a lot of alcohol, they actually dream longer, because you're in REM longer. REM is not actually that deep, restful sleep. REM sleep is actually the closest you are to being awake. That's why a lot of people, when they're dreaming, they move. If you're in a really deep stage, 2, 3 of sleep, you're out. Like you're not moving. But that's where that restfulness actually happens. Also, so many medications prevent restful sleep. Consult your doctor, go over your med list. Sleeping aids, they can be good in the short term, but long term, they become terribly addictive. Things like benzodiazepines, Xanax, Clonopin, Ativan, or some of the other Z drugs like Ambien. Ambien is completely contraindicated over the age of 65. It increases your risk of dementia, of falls, of sleepwalking. If you've been on Ambien for a couple years, your body develops a tolerance. Eventually, you need more. It is a very tough spot to get to not be able to sleep, period, without Ambien. I've had to wean several patients off very painfully. It's not fun. If you can avoid it, don't go on it. Now if you go through something very traumatic, you need to be on Ambien for 3 months. I would not take Ambien longer than 6 months ever. Melatonin is okay. The recommended dose for adults is 10 milligrams, maybe 30 minutes to an hour before you go to bed. Melatonin is something that our body naturally produces. It's a hormone that allows us to sleep. Um, a lot of like phentermine, it's a weight loss drug, or Adderall. Those drugs have a very long half life and they will keep you awake. So happy sleeping.